No sense in third party, brother. If I just zoom on you when I pay at a server, I know. You know, pay like no money or say that's going to use them to one. Notice it now, you know. You know, the music just not work. So anytime we did have play music and work more music just not.
Hello, gentlemen. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. We can hear you.
Great. So, welcome to once again the Matter of All Current Affairs shows. We are live on Voice of London Television. And of course, we have a feed to our sister station, Voice of London Radio. You can also pick us up on our social media handles, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and all the affiliates for both the Voice of London Television and then the Voice of London Radio. My name is Nana Osagyeo, and this segment of the show is going to be very interesting. There's so much is happening around the world, internationally, and of course, Africa as well. So let me remind my listeners that we have a legacy film, which is a Pan-African film, which is coming up. The lead actor is Dr. Pipra Jemfi, and the cast are from a multinational background. This film is a must for you to go watch. So the actual release of the film and the red carpet attendances will be probably early September. So keep watching, and that's coming soon. And as usual, don't also forget to go listen to one of the greatest gospel songs by Miss Evelyn Hart. It's out now, and you can check out your Spotify and all the streaming sites to go watch it. I also like to reverberate that we have Lady Grateful D, who's come out with a song, and this song is called Ocean Divide. And you hear the title of the song is kind of like related to when the story of Moses dividing the sea. So these are just brief community news that we have from this side of the Atlantic. Let me officially go and welcome my special guests who are with me for us to do the discussion. Dr. JB, welcome to Voice of London Television.
Okay. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm here with you, and good evening to your fellow panelists.
Nice one, nice one. Yes, so let me welcome Eugene. Eugene, how are you? Eugene, are you with us? We lost you briefly.
Yes, Osagyeo, I'm fine, thank you. How about you?
Okay, great. And good to hear from you. I have is it Afrakuma? Oh, I've got a Jamboree. Hey, Mr. Jamboree, how you doing? Baba, Mr. Baba. Baba, unmute your mic. Unmute your microphone. Can you hear me, Baba?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Oh, great. Oh, I'm so grateful you made it out to the channel.
Yes,
Grateful to have you, and I'm so pleased to hear from you. So how was your day?
Oh, it was fantastic, sir. And you?
Not too bad, not too bad. Okay, so it's good to see you on the screens, and let me give you guys a wave a bit. Yeah, yes,
Yeah.
this one, niceness. That's how we like to do it right here. Yes. Okay, so look, we've got, just to make sure that under an hour, yeah, we can go through some of the most important things. But I wanted to spend a lot of time on the issue of course, the Israel-Iran exchanges, and of course, the U.S., going to also bomb Iran, and what Trump has said that he wants Iran to come to the negotiating table. I think that's a big one for us. And this is about world affairs. And we need to talk about it because this is a Pan-African platform, a multicultural platform, and a platform for everybody and across the global world, reaching out to the four corners of the world, with a view to the Pan-Africanism. But let's quickly, let me just run through some of the headlines quickly, and then we start with the major big thing, because this affects the whole wild world. Please don't forget to like, comment, and also subscribe, okay? Subscribe and share so that our brothers and sisters can all benefit from this unique platform. Okay, so let me quickly run through the headlines. We're also expecting the beautiful lady in the person of Nanama to bring us some back home news items, and then we'll see whether we can look at them. But our major focus on this segment is going to be the Israeli-Iran and then the U.S. intervention thing, and that's what is going to happen. So quickly, let me take a couple of headlines from the international news desk. Iran says U.S. attacks will get response as Trump claims we took bomb out of their hands. That's a major headline. Like I said, this affects the whole global world, so we'll be looking at that in total. Now, let's go on to our next items. We have Ukraine still holds ground inside Russia's Kursk. That is what the Ukrainian commander or commanders are saying. We also have another international news items. Suicide bombing at Damascus church kills 22 in Syria, and the Syrian authorities have come out with that. 3 fans have died in Algeria football. So this is to relate to the African segment of the news. Russian government clearly has promised to supply Iran with nuclear warheads. So this is coming from the international news desk. Russia is promising to give a completed and fully finished nuclear warhead to Iran. It's getting quite interesting there. Right, so without wasting time, let me go straight and then just look at Africa. Please, can we have a bit of, I think I had an interruption, but that's okay. Okay, the show continues unabated as usual. Yes, let me go straight to the African news desk as my special guests are waiting to start the fire. All right, so South African engineers freed after 2 years in Equatorial Guinea jail. We'll do this story during the week because we've got a pressing issues to discuss. So this is an interesting story. Why these 2 South African engineers got jailed in Equatorial Guinea, we'll look at that. We've got the 3 fans dying in Nigeria. These are all the Pan-African news items that I'm bringing to the fore. The presidential feud that even death couldn't end. That's an interesting one. We already dealt with this one last week, I think, and that's to do with the political, debacle that is going on in the Zambia. Yes, so quite an interesting story there. African seems not to unite, and sometimes it's sad to see Mother Africa divide and rule always being used against us. But I'm sure as Africa becomes more enlightened, all this will change. Okay, so still on the African news desk, what is behind the wave of killings in central Nigeria? Well, another interesting story. And then we have the women at the center of Somalia's construction boom. Wow, that's a nice one there. And then, okay, so let's stick with that and let me go straight and then speak to my learned colleagues. We are also waiting for Nanama, who will be giving us some of the headlines from that part of the world. So, Eugene, you can hear me, and Doctor, you can hear me as well.
Yeah, I can hear you, sir.
Okay. Now, the world had been at this highest nerves, and everybody is just on the tentacles. And why am I saying this? I'm saying this because of the global issues that is going on now that can affect the whole global world. The whole human race can be annihilated within seconds or minutes. So let's quickly go start with that discussion because it's a pressing issue. And let me start with you, Eugene. What do you make out of it's barely a week or a week plus when we know there has been tensions in the Middle East. We know the Israeli-Gaza issue has been going on. We know that particular Middle East region is a very tense region. It's also the richest with oil and gas, and a lot of interest there from the corporations as well. And we just saw Israel feeling that Iran gets its nuclear, power going, they might be in trouble. So they said they had to do what they call the preemptive strike. And that led to Iran also responding. And then now we've got America to go and hit Iran as well. For Iran, as the President Trump said, for Iran to come to the negotiating table or he will strike again. Eugene, briefly, what do you make out of it before we go into two? Yeah.
Osagyeo, thank you. I feel the issues are, aside the remote factors, the issues, I think those issues have been pending or over years, over the couple of years, we've seen those Middle East countries always engaging in battle of territory or battle over certain issues which could be with regards to their religious practices. But I feel basically their allies are triggering, or their allies are major factors that are contributing to the outbreak of this nuclear war that's going on. And I feel there should be a mutual understanding. They should be able to come to a consensus whereby they would agree, or they would disagree to agree to their terms of conditions, and to prevent these kind of outbreak of wars. Because already I saw some of the videos, the video footages. It's quite alarming because from the look of things, any part of these cities, namely Gaza or wherever, could be hit and nobody even knows. So human life is at stake, and being a person having humanitarian interests at heart, I do not subscribe to that nuclear dispensation of weapons and whatsoever.
Yeah.
So, it's whatever the causes are, the remote factors or not. I feel like the higher authorities and bodies should be able to come to a mutual agreement rather than involving or having other allies to back the fuse for it to escalate. Yes, it's not, war is not good because it sends, when those kind of incidents happen, it sends the country backward. It sends the country to a decline. And now after everything is over, you have to come back and now come to fix or arrange things, and it's not right. I feel say regardless whatever has happened or regardless of their disputes, there should be a consensus whereby they'll come to mutual agreement. This is how it should be done. This is how things should be done, and it shouldn't escalate because looking at things, we do not know what is going to happen in this coming week. So we have to pray and hope that the situation doesn't get out of hand. Thank you.
Before the human race gets alienated.
Exactly, because they might target the wrong city, and before they see, the whole of Israel or Iraq Iran is just gone, and we do not want such situations.
Yeah, yeah. That's an interesting one, man. That's an interesting one. Yes. All right, Doc.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, I know you,
Yeah.
I know you definitely give us the genesis of all these things. Okay, Doc, let's flow.
Yes. Good evening.
Good evening, Doc.
Go to history and give you the genesis of the whole this thing. People will wonder, why does the U.S. support Israel in whatever it does? This is the reality and the truth. The truth of the matter is that the Jews, the Israel, they are in control of the U.S. government, the U.S. security, and the global financial system. The dollar as a currency we use in this world is owned by the Jews. And they have come together to settle in the land of Palestine on 14th May 1948. That's when John Rockefeller, who was a great grandson of Rothschild, he established
Right.
world. And their grandchildren have taken control of the banking system in this world up to now. So he wrote a letter to the British, I think the king or queen by them, and they were given the support of the UN and the US government. And they came to establish the Israeli state on the land of Palestine on 14th May 1948. And ever since that, they have been constantly attacking the Palestinians, attacking their labors. They have invaded Lebanon, invaded Syria, invaded Jordan, invaded Egypt, and all the other countries. So the Jews are in control of the whole world system, causing all the wars in this world. I didn't understand why Adolf Hitler wanted to actually eliminate all Jews until recently when I did my research. I don't understand. So this is the reason why Adolf Hitler wanted to actually exterminate and annihilate all Jews from the surface of the earth, because they are in control of all this. They control Boeing, Lockheed Martin, System Dynamics, and all the companies that make the bombs in this world. So while there's war going on, the Jewish elite aristocrats are making money. You understand what I'm saying? Whenever there's a war in this world, the weapon manufacturing companies supply bombs, and those factories are owned by the Jews, which are Israelis. So the more there's more, the more war around this world, the more they make money. And they definitely want to prevent an Islamic state Iran from having nuclear bombs, so that they can have the autonomy to control everything.
Okay, so
before I conclude,
yeah, okay, go on. I was going to interject there, yeah, but go on.
Okay, before I conclude, the scale of this fight or this military confrontation between Israel and Iran, I don't think that it have the capacity or the magnitude to bring humanity to an end. Why? Because the nuclear weapons possessed by Israel is about 90, and Iran is not confirmed either they have nuclear weapon or not. Besides, if you have the nuclear weapon, you need ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missile, to be able to fire the missile to other countries. Iran have some of the missiles, ballistic missiles, but they have not developed a massive one like the Satan 2 of the Russians or the Minuteman of US or the Dongfeng of China. So they don't have the capacity to actually initiate a nuclear weapon that can wipe out humanity, like the massive nuclear arsenal US and Russia have. So it's pity how the Israelis are causing a lot of necessary chaos in this world, controlling the world financial system, and just killing humans like cockroaches across the world. That's my take on it. Thank you.
Okay. Now, you did mention earlier about 1948, which we know the Balfour Declaration was part of the initiation by finally bringing and creating the 1948 Israeli state. Do you think that the world could have had a peace if probably, the United Nations, and I think, let me welcome, I'll continue with my day, but let me welcome Teresa. How are you? Hello? Unmute yourself. I see you, Teresa, have joined us. I was just trying to welcome you, but unmute yourself. Okay, if you join us, unmute yourself so that we can all interject. Okay, so Doc, and my question is that when the 1948, when the Israeli state was established, couldn't the United Nations mandates and all the international players, I'm talking about the UN Security Council and all that, probably able to create a two-state solution at that time so that we could have had peace and the human population will not be at stake. Because with this nuclear thing coming in, humanity or the human race can be annihilated, and will be annihilated. And that's a serious thing. So why don't we look at a two-state solution where they have in Cyprus, at one side, I think you have the Greek Cypriots, and the other side, you have the Turkish Cypriots in Cyprus. And as I understand, the UN, is in the middle there, making sure everything is harmony there. And so a two-state solution could have helped the situation. What's your take on that, Eugene? Teresa, are you still there? Eugene, you've muted yourself. Okay, once we get Eugene to unmute. Doc.
Hello, okay. Are you asking that question in relation to the Israel and Palestine conflict or with the recent war with Iran?
No,
because
no. With the Iran issue is the bombing and the escalation of the bombings. So we'll come to that. My question is, why couldn't the establishment of the Israeli state in the onset be done in such a way that a two-state solution could have taken place and then we could have had a lasting peace?
Okay, I think what happened is that there was agreement with the state of Palestine that there will be a demarcation so that the Israelis will have a section of their land and also a section for the Palestine. There was a demarcation and an agreement, but prior to that agreement and the 14th May Declaration, behind closed doors, the Jews were in control of the UN, the global financial architecture. So they were able to influence what happens at the UN. So that's why they will be to bulldoze their way through to get their worship being implemented against the will of the Arabic countries.
Yes, and I know there was a bit of, because sometimes the Palestinians were feeling, is the island, why do you come and give our land to? But, both the Jews and the Palestinians were also living side by side, majority Palestinians, and there was no problem because I think I had a read where one of their prime minister, lady prime minister, was saying that during her time, she only used to have one passport, and that passport was a Palestinian passport. And there was peace. You
Yes,
understand?
no, yes, that's the current Israel state, as is to be honest, is a thorn in the flesh of the whole world, and I've been doing that for centuries. It began with the era of the Rothschild Foundation, Rockefeller, BlackRock up to now. BlackRock in the US is a company. It belongs to the Jews, and they are one of the companies responsible for all the chaos going on in this world because they take over the oil industry, the oil drain after that as well. In Libya, BlackRock was one of the architects of NATO intervention in Libya to get Gaddafi. And after that, BlackRock and their sister companies are taking over the oil fields in Libya. They're doing the same thing in Syria. There's a region called Deir Zor in Syria. After BlackRock, Israel and the United States was able to house Assad. They're taking over the oil fields. They're causing all this time in this world, which is very unfortunate.
Yeah. Okay. But let's build our topics and narratives from this tit for tat, which is escalating, and if we are not careful, it might get out of hand. Now, the two-state solution wasn't fruitful, or a protest by the Arabs, which some people feel is legitimate, and others also feel they should have taken the two-state solution. At the moment, I think that's on the table. Now, and then we know there have been a couple of wars, the 6-Day War, and then the attack from, some of the Muslims against Israel. I think it's not all the Jews that are supporting the, let's put it this way. I saw a clip where some Orthodox Jews were aligning with Iran. And there is a narrative where they are saying the party in power now is actually the right-wing party of Israel. So it's not actually all the Jews that are right-wings. So this is some of the narrative out there, and educating, informing, and enlightening our people. We need to look at all these angles and see if probably some of our fruitful discussions might be able to also help the establishments or the international world or the UN to also take it on board. Let me welcome, before I continue, Doc, let me welcome Lady Nanama. Nanama, can you hear me?
Nana, yes, please. Good evening to all of you.
Thank you, Nana. Thank you, Nana. Nana is also AKA Beautylena. So, Beautylena, welcome to the show.
The pleasure is all mine. I'm so sorry about my network.
Yes.
Whenever it rains, we are in the rainy season, so.
Okay, so let me.
I'm so sorry.
Let me also go and welcome Lady Teresa. Is it Teresa? Okay, Teresa is muted. Let's go to Eugene. Eugene, you back on? Okay, so Doc Brown.
Hello.
Yeah, let's speak to Nanama and get the news from the motherland before she gets a network problem. Yeah, and then we can continue from the international angle with regards to the Israel-Iran issue. Yeah, and the US also stepping in. So, Nanama.
Nana.
Yes. What have you got for us from back home, the motherland?
Greetings to all our cherished viewers. This week, it has been criminal. Trax has been arrested. It's about criminality. So
Who has been arrested?
we will hear that some Trax going Eastern region has been arrested.
Oh, this network for this Nana. Nana, can you hear us?
Yes, please.
Okay, we are listening.
So let me go straight because of this network issues.
Okay.
So 150 sacks of suspected Indian hemp in Eastern region has been arrested.
Okay.
Police also has arrested 5 suspects at Western Central Regional Police Station.
Mm. Did you say Western region or Central region?
Western region.
Okay.
FBI has also broke record. They came here to arrest the owner of Ghanaian Division 1 League side, Ahmed, popularly known as Agoni. He has been arrested for frauding. This thing is like 2013 thing, and now it is now that they have arrested him, and it is also circulating on social media. When you go to Ketekrachi Divisional Police Command, has also arrested 2 individuals for possessing substances suspected as Indian hemp.
Nana, we are waiting. No.
And
You've got to let it flow a bit. You keep breaking. Yeah?
okay. You know, Euphoria test is just doing on and off with OSP. Instead of him coming to court, he's just traveling out.
This network. Okay, the network is playing up. Once
That's
we pick
even
up.
less.
Yeah, okay. Okay, see.
Let's Prof. Sample to also chip in.
Nana, your network is so bad. Can you stand somewhere properly? Then we can flow. See if you've got the network bars on your phone right. Then you can flow properly because it keeps cutting.
You said buy a different modem, man.
Nana, you heard me?
Yeah. Yes, please.
Position yourself well because it keeps cutting and it's a bit frustrating. Okay, so you position yourself well. I'll come back to you, yeah? Before I jump onto the what is happening, the global issue of the Israel, Iran, and then American jumping in. Let me go to Doc, where I've got, but Eugene, you've muted. Eugene, can you hear me? Okay, Doc.
Hello.
Yeah, thank you, Doc. Doc.
I'm returning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least we got a bit from Nanama. I think her network is playing up a lot. So let's see if she can get a good position and then come back. But have you heard briefly before we go back to the Israel, Iran, and then American issue?
Yes, concerning Anama, she made a brief comment about a topic in concerning the FBI president in Ghana and arresting one kingpin called Kofi Boot. It's alleged that is the ringleader of a cartel that scams citizens in US. It is scams citizens in US to the tune of 100 million US dollars. That's a huge amount of money. And it's alleged that there's a cartel, and that cartel also deal the money laundering, scamming, and also find a clandestine means to bring in stolen vehicles from Canada and US.
Yeah.
So the FBI, is in Ghana, together with the Ghana BNI, formerly and NIB, formerly BNI, they have been able to arrest Kofi Boat and pay some of few other guys. But the question I have is that what authority, what jurisdiction does the FBI have to come to Ghana to come and arrest somebody in Ghana? Can Ghana police go to US to go and arrest a US citizen who have deported somebody in Ghana? Upon what laws, upon what international obligation, upon what international transaction did the FBI have that permit to come to Ghana to come arrest someone? I'm not trying to defend the process. I'm not defending them way. But upon what international agreement, bilateral agreement did they do that? The moral value, the moral fabric of our society is dead. But say, you see professionals, nurses, bankers dating fraudsters. You could call them psycho boy, or because they have money. Because if you're a medical doctor or lawyer with the money that you earn, you cannot afford a very expensive car like the latest Mercedes Benz, Ferrari, Bugatti. You'll not be able to afford them. But these scammers are able to afford them. So you see educated women, beautiful women dating these men. Even churches, they're even given positions, and the church's authority will not question the source of their wealth. And that is becoming the order of the day. That's been going on, and several guys in our generation or in the next generation are here before us and then into this kind of scam. And I think it's something that you have to deal with as a nation because it's affecting our society, our moral standard as a nation. And I think they should be arrested and face the law. I don't support scam. I don't support defrauding somebody of the person's work and labor. I think you should make money by genuine means, genuine legitimate means permitted by the law. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Doc. We're so grateful for the sacrifices and explaining issues for those of us in the diaspora. We are so indebted to you. Eugene, can you hear me now? Eugene, you've muted. You've got to unmute. Okay. And Nanama, have you got a good position? Okay, Nanama is still working on the air position. Yeah, Nana, I can see you've unmuted. Can you hear me?
Yes, please, I can.
Yeah, okay. Now, we pray that the network doesn't interrupt us. Okay, so we've got the boats guy, JB has explained the boat issue with the FBI getting to Ghana as well to arrest him. And then you spoke about the drugs issue, a lot of drug people being busted and stuff. Yeah, that's where I think you reached. So you can continue now. Yeah, Nana. Okay, Doc.
Hello.
Yeah. What about this news that Nanama gave us regarding the cannabis and all those things? Arrests on those ones as well. Have you heard it?
Yes. The cannabis, I heard that the arrest was made somewhere in the Bota region, and there were several tons of the cannabis. So the police worked in conjunction with NACOP, that's a narcotic control board, and the national security, and they were able to confiscate them and burn them. So the FD also came in to come and take samples to go and test them disapproval, and there was a decision was made, a consensus between national security, NACOP, FDA, and the were besides the Indian hemp too, there are about a huge consignment of cocaine. $350 million of cocaine was also arrested in Ghana last week at the airport. Very huge consignment. $350 million worth of cocaine were also impounded by the security service at the airport and NACOP, and they also destroyed by the FDA and NACOP and national security. It's what the incidence of drugs. Yes.
No, go on, Doc.
Yeah, I said the incidents of drug trafficking have become very rampant over the few months which this government took over. I think, from my perspective, introspective analysis, I think it was ongoing in the previous administration, but the government by then had probably had a hand in the deal or was a direct accomplice in this crime. That's why the government kept quiet. The reason I'm saying that, I'm going to take intuition or reference from Alistair Matthias. Alistair Matthias was interviewed on Al Jazeera and was very emphatic, categorical, without any ambiguity, that he smuggles $40 million of gold out of the country every month. And he smuggles the gold in collaboration with then President of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Did you hear that? Alistair Matthias, he was smuggling gold out of Ghana, and you told Al Jazeera network in the whole world that he was smuggling the gold in collaboration with the President of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. So if the whole president will aid gold smuggling, such a criminal at essence of the state, I don't think that president is going to fight a drug trafficking, drug smuggling, because he was neck deep in activities of gold smuggling, except by Alistair Matthias. So I think the previous government and the apparatus and the close circle of the president or the former administration were actually neck deep in this drug trafficking. So they weren't arresting them. The drug dealers were given a full deal to operate. And with the new regime in place, new security bosses, they are trying to tighten all the loopholes. So I think that is why you have been hearing of rampant recent increase in arrest or detection of drug trafficking across the country. So I think that is the greater picture that is happening currently in the country. And I think that the security services are on top of their duties. They are doing excellent work. They are being more vigilant, and they are saving the youth and the nation as a whole. Yeah, they're doing a good job. They should continue.
Right. So that's quite interesting. And with the FBI one, so basically, Ghana could have deal with the extradition warrants and all that, and could have sent them over. Yeah.
Yeah. For the warrants, the traditional warrants, they have to go to higher court in Ghana for the higher court to grant them. So the issues at the higher court right now, and they are in remand right now. And just when they went to the higher court, their lawyers were able to put a defense, so they didn't get the traditional warrant, so they've been remanded.
Yeah. Now,
Pending appearance before court, before the court will decide either they will be given the traditional warrant. Besides, the FBI is still on manhunt, looking for other corporate accomplices in the crime to apprehend.
okay, that's great. So let's this issue of the cannabis. You are into health, medicine, and all that.
Yeah.
Legalization of the cannabis, would it help or it wouldn't help? What's your candid and personal view on this subject matter?
Okay. Cannabis, I would say it's like a uranium, right? Uranium can enrich, and if enriched, can be used to make nuclear weapons, which can be very, very destructive. The same uranium, when enriched, can be used to build nuclear reactor, to fuel nuclear reactor, and that can produce electricity for our whole society, stimulate or drive our industries and change our life around. It depends on what it's used for. That's what marijuana for. In my field, in the medical field as an biologist, adverse effects of marijuana on fertility. Let me tell you what happened about a month or two ago at my clinic. What it has done. I did the IVF procedure for a couple. The first IVF I transferred, they didn't implant. Second one, it implanted. They have a biochemical pregnancy. The next one, when I transferred the embryo, they got pregnant at 6-7 weeks. They had miscarriage. So Alexander said there's possible said there's a possible DNA fragmentation because the lady was very young, so I wasn't expecting any kind of DNA abnormalities of fragmentation. So Alexander said the man was in his 30s to 40s, so probably the man is having a sperm that has a DNA fragmentation. So I asked for their history, and the man admitted he's smooth. Yes, a serious smooth. Okay, then I asked him. I requested for a DNA fragmentation test. What do you call it? What you call it? SC, sperm chromatin assay test. And when that test came out, you realized that about 75% of the sperm that the man produced, they having DNA DNA abnormalities. And such men will have normal counts, sperm counts, but will not be able to fertilize egg. If they fertilize egg, they will cause they will not implant or any implant, they will cause miscarriage. Even if you implant that, as time goes on, the baby that will be born, the fetus will going to have severe chromosomal abnormalities. That can lead to Down syndrome, achondroplasia, monogenic disease, and all kind of DNA fragmentation disease. All caused by marijuana. Hello?
Yeah, we are listening
Are you
very
seeing?
actively. Yeah.
Yes. All caused by marijuana. When it comes to tobacco, it's worse. So marijuana, I was affect your mental state. Hormonal analysis, it can lead to the certain production of dopamine. Dopamine is a kind of hormone that is responsible for making you happy, happy hormone. So anytime you have sex and you reach orgasm, you release dopamine, and whenever you release dopamine, there's a desire for you to release more dopamine. So if you have sex with somebody, and especially as a woman, and they're able to reach orgasm, there's another desire to reach orgasm so that you can release dopamine. And that dopamine is responsible for happiness. Whenever you're taking marijuana, it can also release some kind of dopamine, and that will make you addicted to it. And that will gradually going to deteriorate your mental
Yeah.
status.
Yeah. So
It's enormous.
So my question is that the legalization or the non-legalization is the key. I mean,
Okay, so your question. Let me answer that question. It can be legalized for other purposes. That is for other medicinal purposes. For example, the creams that you use a hair relaxer,
okay,
we can use marijuana.
okay.
If
So
some
you
medication,
are of the view, that it shouldn't be legalized because people will definitely abuse it. Yeah.
it can be legalized for the factories manufacturing of product, but not to be smoked.
Yes, but I'm sure
Yeah.
the legality of industries using it for medicinal purposes or other purposes is allowed.
No, not in Ghana. Not in Ghana.
Not in
Not in
Ghana.
Ghana.
Okay.
Not in Ghana. The previous administration passed a law to actually legalize so that you can use by the factories for the production of materials. But since it went to court and the Supreme Court overturned it. So now it's not legal in either for industrial, commercial use or for smoking.
Okay.
But some other countries in Europe and US.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me go to Eugene and see Eugene's take on the Eugene. Do you think legalize cannabis now? And I say the crime of cannabis no can be regulated, and that can bring the states a lot of money. Who saying? Before you answer, let me welcome Nanama. As your line be very good now. Nana, you have to unmute too. Okay, we've got Adrian Awuku on the line.
Yes,
Welcome, Adrian.
please.
Yeah, Nanama, can you hear me? Utemenga.
Nana, mpachayo, shubu, network.
It is said when your line, come.
Vanessa. Mami mo bon nsɛm no so bi sɛdeɛ ɛbɛyɛ nkwagye
Okay,
gu
and you bon some no so taw the way our line is there.
yɛbɛkɔ kine ofori ata ne issue no with OSP, no. Instead, so be call to answer questions. Obe answer. He has been traveling to US, UK, and has refused to come and answer his questions and all that. And I'm
Yes, we apologize. It's Naname's network is playing up, and we all know it's a major issue in Ghana. But I'm sure, say, it should regain it. You
Prof. Jampos.
Okay, Nana, you are back, yeah?
Yeah, he
But Nana, you broke. Who break it?
also.
Nana, ma, who break it up? Kakranti. Baby, I'll break it up. No, try so be sure safe you. Now come back. OSP, Keno Ferreata issue. No, me boy. Nana, ma.
Patron.
Nti mi yankoi. Na peja one kakrama yen.
According to Director Samuel Apiadaku, he says he has not yet submitted certified medical records from any hospital to substantiate his claim from March to 31st May now. Yeah, he has been refusing to come. Chances has been given.
Nana, you are breaking again.
And
This, because breaks need too much.
Prof. Jampos also went ahead to comment on Oferiate's issue, and he has been, in some way, one way or the other, he has been warned.
Okay, we are welcoming Adrian.
Don't undermine.
Is it Adrian Awuku? Welcome to the show, Adrian.
And when we go to the next story too, over 100 protesters stormed Nigeria High Commission in Accra over the harassment of some journalist companies in Nigeria. The Nigerians are demanding a swift intervention by Nigerian President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I hope I got the name right. Protesting the assurance of for Ghanaian businesses operating across Nigeria. They are doing this to promote the long-standing relationship between Ghana and Nigeria. Another tragic news is we all know that when it comes to naming ceremonies, it's an occasion for happiness, merrymaking. But this one ended up in a sad way. Gabriel Zero to Thursday. It says the three.
This Ghana network there, Asemu.
Grandmother was shot.
Nana, next time try and stand in the name flow no.
Nah.
What you say? Nana ma.
Eja.
Flow no network name ma kwan crowd. Etwetwe si so. Ti ese wo pe baby a wo benya wo full network so. Se de be ma entwetwa aba form kakra. What you say?
Okay.
Aye, ko etwetwe si pa. Okay, nti koso yetiu.
Okateche Frifa also commented on Mahama Sharaf boxing concert that he held recently. He was like, when Nana Akufo-Addo's daughter opened a restaurant, we said she has used Ghana's money to do it. So where did Sharaf get the money from to open that, to create that big boxing concept? And then he has been blasted by Ghanaians, by the people in the boxing industry.
I see.
Because he didn't read more. Yeah. This guy was supported by
Okay.
and then he thinks that it is his father's money. People don't really understand why he should even do that comparison between Nana Akufo-Addo, ex-president, and Mohammed.
Yeah. Okay.
And another funny, interesting news. One boxer, I think he's new, Joseph Saki.
Mm-hmm.
In order for him to win, he used one popular prophet, Stephen Adumche,
Yeah.
sticker on his body so that he can win the fight. But in the end, he lost. He was defeated by Khan, and then the pastor came out claiming that, oh, he doesn't know him, he's not a church member, and later invited him to the church. There is this popular Ghanaian musician, Medical. He has been trending with this issue. You won't even know whether it's sexual harassment or, because according to him, he said he didn't do it intentionally. He invited a fan on the stage, and they had we all saw that it wasn't just a hug. At the end, he touched the lady's buttocks, and then I was like, oh, it was a mistake. And Ghanaians are blushing him. What mistake? You have it was intentionally. He said it wasn't intentionally.
Any more brief headlines over there? I think Nanama's line is so bad. Okay, we'll go back to Nanama.
No, please. No,
Okay,
please.
so go on then, Nana. The break is not helping us, so try and make it flow, yeah? Are you done?
Yes, please.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Nana. Okay, but can you clarify? Now see naming ceremony because we're Ghana. What happened? Meeting BBC say the end was in a Yikra. Then they see what end.
Oh, the end. One of the queen mothers, her name is Na Adoli Sadowa. Yeah. Pearl Na Adowa. He was shot. She was shot.
Oh, okay.
She was shot to the head.
At the
She
naming
was shot to the
ceremony,
head, and she died. Pardon?
I will naming ceremony be a semi what?
Bachai.
What was the cause of the naming ceremony? I mean, what was the cause of the gunshot?
Proper investigations are in process to find out.
So there was a gunshot, but you cannot tell us what happened. Okay.
Yeah, she wasn't the only one. There is other woman. As for her, she's just injured, and then she's still receiving treatment, hospital treatment. But for her, she couldn't survive it because she was shot to the head.
Oh dear. So she passed. She passed, yeah?
Yeah, she passed. Yeah, she passed at the scene.
Oh my God.
She's just 33 years with 2 kids.
So where did this thing happen? Where?
Gare Zero.
Huh? Where?
Gare Zero. Getting to Isawum. When you're getting to Isawum.
Oh, okay. Okay. You call it the place they call it where? Is it Adwajiri?
Gagbe.
Oh,
Gagbe Zero. I hope I'm. Yeah, Gagbe.
You Ghanaians too, you can give names. So, all right, let me welcome Adams Awudu to the show. Adams, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Good evening to the listeners, and hope everybody is enjoying the show.
Okay, thank you, Adams. Eugene, you've got your voice back.
Osagyeo, yes, please.
Okay, great. Doc, thank you for hanging in there.
Okay, I'm here. I'm here with you.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Nice one. Okay, so quickly, Eugene, you are going to tell us why. I was asking you about whether Ghana should legalize cannabis. If you say cannabis, some legalize, they discover back corona, and I say illegal for now. Assume they know.
Osagyeo, thank you once again. That question is two ways. So I would like to ask Doc. Doc, please, is there any health benefits to one smoking cannabis?
Okay, for benefits, no. For benefits, no. There's no documented benefit of smoking cannabis. But there's what documented evidence of severe adverse effects, that being mental, psychological, fertility, and your lungs. It has severe adverse effects. But for benefit, there's no documented benefit of
Doc,
smoking marijuana.
Doc, let me. Doc,
I disagree with the statement of the doctor. There is well enough documented evidence of positive in usage of cannabis, and it has been legalized in so many civil or developed world, whereby a lot of income or money is being generated when cannabis are legalized. For instance, Mike Tyson has the biggest cannabis farm in the United States of America, and he's making a lot of money. The former Prime Minister of Great Britain, Theresa May's husband, has the license and the biggest cannabis farm in the United Kingdom, and he is making a lot of money. Cannabis is proven to be of a medicinal purpose, not only the smoking.
So on that note,
Hello. Please, can I come in? I said that the smoking of cannabis doesn't give any benefit by the smoking, but there are so many uses of cannabis. So the question our host asked, that can it be legal? I said it can be legalized for the manufacturing, for the production of that thing, but not legalized for the smoking. Because one, so many medications used at the hospital, some are made from cannabis and other from heroin and cocaine. For the analgesic, for the anesthesia, there are so many of them which are made from cannabis and cocaine, the coca plant and heroin. Yes, there are so many effects. Even the cream you use, the hair relaxer is basically made from marijuana. So when it comes to the industrial aspect, there are so many benefits. But for you to smoke it, smoking the marijuana doesn't give you any benefit. It only causes harm.
Okay.
I can still contest that.
Okay, Doc. So on that count, Doc. Okay, Doc. On that count, let me answer to the question Osagyeo asked me.
Okay.
So Osagyeo, back to the platform once again. Ghana is not a place where I feel they should legalize the smoking of marijuana because the youth in Ghana are on the rise of substance abuse or drug abuse. Osagyeo, because from practical exemplaries of the things that are going on in Ghana, the youth are on the rise of substance abuse or drug abuse. For instance, something as Ghana they call the red and the trauma and all of that. So in a place like Ghana, even if they would legalize it, they should carry a certain amount of marijuana to smoke to release stress or whatsoever it is. But you see, it's not about the laws, so it's about the clauses, because I feel like Ghanaians or black people we like to abuse power so much. So for now, until the youth find their balance in everything that they want to do, I feel like it shouldn't be legalized for now because of the rise of the substance abuse.
So basically, no, it seems the rule of law in Ghana is very weak then.
It's very, very weak.
Nana, can I come in?
Don't we have law enforcement in Ghana?
aside for even if they have law enforcement in Ghana, people always find a way to always massage and make the law not work the way it's supposed to work.
So
For
let's
instance,
say,
when they
let's
catch
say
someone,
we need Ibrahim Traore or Papa Jadems.
precise because
Okay.
we are like, yeah, a bit more to say punching. If you don't cane them, they will not understand. They will not understand.
Nana, let me come in.
Okay, that's a very interesting thing there. Now, briefly, before I ever call, we were talking about Israel and then Iran, and then we spoke about we haven't finished. We were speaking about Israel, Iran, America, because it's a global news, and so this is something that we need to also talk about now, from a very balanced perspective. Now, before we go back to that subject, let's look at what is happening in the news that Nanama brought to us. A naming ceremony and 2 ladies are shot. Is this happening in Ghana? Kwame Nkrumah's Ghana? Adams, rule of law in Ghana.
Nana, you see, democracy is not about elections. The ancient Greek that brought about democracy. Democratic right was set up in the market. Democracy is equals to rule of law. Before the law, everybody is the same. But what we are seeing in the Black democratic nation is elections and choosing of leaders, neglecting the core foundation of democracy, which is the rule of law. So in absence of rule of law, chaos becomes the basics for everything. For instance, we look at what is happening today in Ghana. Since 1992, when we went democratic dispensation, after 1996, after 2000, we saw Ghana nosediving when it comes to rule of law. Everybody was a law to himself, orchestrated by President Kufuor. So we have come too far to destruction of the fiber of the Ghanaian society, whereby we were law-abiding citizens. We care for each other and we look after each other's welfare. We were talking about legalization of cannabis, which of course the other side of the pond, the other side of the Ghana is saying that some of our people, the youth, behave like, excuse me to say, animals. So when we legalize cannabis, they will abuse it. But Ghanaians have been smoking cannabis since independence, and it has never been abused. Now they've got these rubbish tablets in red, which of course zooms human being, makes the human being look like animal. They are abusing that. So what is creating that environment? What is making the youth now becoming like animals, depending their life on drugs? One is because the youth has been neglected. Two, because the youth has no any hope in life. Three, there is no social equity. There is no social justice in the country. Therefore, everybody is to himself. If you wake up in the morning and you know what you are going to do, you will not go and take red and become like animals standing as a street corner.
So what is stopping leadership in addressing these issues?
What is stopping the leadership in addressing this issue is because they take advantage of the ignorance of the population. And two, because there is no rule of law, so there is no leadership either. If there is
there's rule of law, but it's not implemented.
Yeah. If in absence of the implementation of a rule of law brings chaos, and in a situation where there is chaos, there is no leadership. So what we want to see is We want to see a judicial system that is independent and that is clever, akin to the state's fundamental principles of the state's policy, the legal guidance of Ghana, not this nonsense MPP, UP judicial system we've got in the country, whereby everybody can go to the law school and become a lawyer, but cannot extend their borders outside the frontiers of Ghana. Now, majority of Ghanaians are now lawyers, but they are as useless as undergraduate law student. You see, so this is what we need to get. We need to get a professional legal system in the country that will stand up to authority and do the right thing. I believe legalization of cannabis is in the good interest of the country. Not only would it create money,
I get it.
it
The
will create employment.
point well made. Leadership has a lot of work to do, and they need to really look at the lack of the implementation of the rule of law. Quickly before we go to the hot one, which is the hot cake, the Israel, Iran, the US indulgence. And so let me look at, Nanama.
Nana.
Pacho, ubetumi I enlighten a Diana Mamikakra, musician medical, dear. What's in a medical? I had a mantioni.
So on a stage, he was performing. He went to UG, University of Ghana. He was performing, and then he called one of his fan. She's a lady, so when she came to the stage, and according to him, he said he wanted to dance with the girl, but he got to know that the girl came with the boyfriend, blah blah blah. They hacked, and in the hack, he he touched the lady in an unwell, or should I say unmannered way. Yeah, he touched her buttocks. Did it not just ordinary touch too? Press. And then when
but some of these things, it's very sad. It's getting out of hand, and I think it still boils down to the rule of law. If they were bringing some of them to a year, I think they would think twice before they'll be going to molest or harass ladies that would jump on stage. And some of these ladies too. This must be.
They like it. Some of the ladies, they like it. They love it.
Irrespective
if you
of
see
the
these
lady
girls
like
dressing
it,
on stage,
even
people,
no matter what it is,
though people don't support.
Naked, if a lady is naked, she is not your entitlement, and you are not allowed to touch her. If you touch her, it's a harassment, and she can do you in any court of competent jurisdictions. That's why we are saying that we need to have laws. I see our parliament to be very useless. All what they go there to do is go and discuss and do some useless things. Ever since 1992, I haven't seen the parliament that has passed a law that is progressive. We still live in a Ghana where somebody can call somebody, say, we and Simani, we are Tenny, we say, and you haven't got.
I think the zero tolerance of the rule of law is not happening there. Implementation zero. The whole judiciary system is compromised. I mean, how can one president appoint 14 Supreme Court judges? 14 with no recourse to the other presidents that are coming in to balance the. I mean, it's ridiculous. Anyway, thank you for clarifying that for us, Nanama. And that medical guy should be ashamed of himself. And these ladies that sometimes let their hair down, I'm sure that this must be somebody's future wife. Hey, Asemu. At all.
It's sad.
Eugene, you went to Cape Coast University. What were the girls like when it comes to this Shatawale guys and other people?
When we were undergrads, the way University of Cape Coast or Kivas is structured, It's either you focus on your academia or you go home with a pass. So me, I actually didn't really engage in entertainment activities till I became a teaching assistant. But University of Cape Coast, those practices do not really happen because when the academic calendar takes off, it's structured in such a way that there are barely or minimum or no at all entertainment activities.
Yeah, but
So
I'm not actually castigating University of Cape Coast. I was looking at a general trend, say the youth of Ghana, no, especially the ladies. Why have they tend to be too much of a like a westernized type of thing?
well,
Even these days, almost
also, also thank you once again. You see,
Mami,
the
mami
thing
ko,
is,
mami ko na namaso. Na nama ane na muyesa. Matisi
Is one is for fame, the money. When they see most girls, when they see those big personalities, yeah, they feel like they've seen God. I don't know.
it's very
They
wrong.
can do anything for
Okay,
fame, for money, and
before
all that.
I know say Adam the obe blasting vanity. Mami ko obe blasting moral girls no. I know. Doc, what's your take on that? Those few yakan. JB,
No.
me say, what's your view on those immoral acts by young girls?
I think that a immoral act and a cause. I think that it's you're going to relate it to the Sakawa thing aspect and a cause. It seems that the moral fabric, as my brother said, from 2000 coming is dead. The moral fabric across society in no view. First, you saw no, so be Barbara Bonnie, society be a condemn me. We could about chrono like you condemn the society, but now it's no more. A sucker boy would refer somebody by cars, and these young girls are going to date him, twist him over responsible guys doing this and do it. Because the society says, when you car, that's all.
Now
Even
that
in the
Doc, why doesn't the state also have a policy to start questioning people that can just overnight come out with monies and cannot justify it? What's the
Nana,
yeah?
Nana, don't behave as if you are the only Thomas in Jerusalem, or what did they say? You are the Doubting Thomas. The government officials, the ministers, the MPs started all this nonsense at the universities. They started it using the university women as prostitutes, called girls. A minister could have about 5 girlfriends on campus where he patronized them, he gives them money. So by so doing, it became infectious. All the girls wanted to have something to live on in Accra, on campus, in Kumasi, on campus, in Cape Coast, everywhere.
Yeah.
So they became like call girls. And this thing has started. We couldn't curtail it because their parents don't have money to give them in schools or to go to the university, to go on campus.
I think
And they over relied on the televisions to see
yeah.
what these people are doing here.
We
And they
need
think it's
we
the
need
best.
Ibrahim's and John Rollins's to come back. This thing will change overnight. Okay, because sometimes you need to really have the zero tolerance of the rule of law being implemented. Yeah. Okay. Interesting discussions there. And those of us in the diaspora, we don't want these discussions to just go on head off. So we really write in a e-form to the presidency, and if they don't respond, we have to start blasting them. And that is when I think they will take heed. We're going to go straight to the Israel, Iran, and then the American indulgence bombings that is taking place. Before we do that, why is Oketechi Afrifa criticizing Sharif Mahama, who is the president's son, when he's trying to promote boxing? whilst when Akufo-Addo's daughter was also promoting restaurateur, he never mentioned. But then he's mentioning what's happening. Is there a hate or a constructive criticism? How do you take that?
Nana, some of these so-called media personnel shouldn't be given an airtime. We shouldn't waste this precious airtime to discuss Oketechie Frifa and his bigotry and ignorant contribution into the media landscape or into the media space. Before you come out to ask questions, you need to do a due diligence.
Right.
He had every right to call Sheriff for an interview. Ask him the funding of his project and how long has he started this project and who funded him. Where did he get the money from? Then when he interrogates the boy, then he can come out and say, oh, why is Ghanaian allowing Sheriff to maybe use a state access to promote boxing? And why is it that Ghanaian did not talk? Ghanaian were making a lot of noise when Akufo-Addo's daughter came into the restaurateur business. You see, so we need to start calling our people to do the right thing rather than just being mediocre. Ghana is now
before we go on the bombing thing, quickly, I only want a yes or no answer to this question. Please, Adams, do you think the presidency, John Mahama, is weak with the rule of law?
No.
Okay. Let me go to Nana Ama. The network is playing up. Let me go to Eugene.
Osagyeo.
Do you think, sir, the current presidency is weak with the rule of law?
No, please.
Okay. JB.
Hello.
Do you think President Mahama is a bit weak with the rule of law?
No, I don't think it's weak as a person in present. But I think as a nation and at the laws of the country, so we need some amendments and some adjustment to make sure you punish crime in the country more severely.
Okay, Danaba.
Nana.
Me pay yes or no answer. Do you see the current president say is weak on the rule of law?
No.
Okay, thank you very much. We are taking our final topic, which is Israel, Iran, and the US bombings. Now, we've already been discussing it with JB. We've spoken a bit about it, but I want brief takes, okay? Nobody should spend more than a minute or two or three on any of the question I'm going to put through to you. Now, I already spoke to Doc, and I was suggesting that, do you think the two-state solution in Israel could bring peace between the Palestinians and the Israelis? Briefly, Adams.
Yes, that is the way forward. But as to if Israel will agree to the two-state solution is the problem.
Okay.
We need to get Benjamin Netanyahu in behind bars before we can talk about two-state solutions.
Okay. And do you think that the both parties will accept that?
Already, the Palestinians have proposed the two-state solution, but it is Israel that wants to annihilate the cause of the Palestinians. They want to get rid of Palestine from the land so they can occupy.
All right. Eugene, the two-state solution, you think that could work?
Yes, that could work, but based on mutual agreement.
And you think that mutual agreement can be achieved?
Yes, it depends. It depends on the clauses of the agreement or the clauses of them coming to agree on terms that will favor them or not.
Okay, and then we have an example countries that have that situation. We have in Cyprus, as stated earlier. We have the Greek Cypriots one side and the Turkish Cypriots on the other side, and the UN in the middle. Why can't we have same over there? Doc, your take on that? Doc, JB.
Hello. Hello.
JB, briefly.
Hello.
Yeah, JB, do you think the two-state solution could work?
The two-state solution will not work because Israel will not respect the terms and conditions of the agreement. They've had several agreements, and the borders have been created by multilateral agreements. Whenever they had agreement, Israel think they have the military and the weapons, they will breach the borders of Palestine and massacre them and kill them. Like recently, they've raised the whole Gaza to the ground. They even go to the Palestinians, they've invading, as of now, they're bombing Lebanon. What has the people of Lebanon done to them? They've invaded and occupied part of Lebanon right now as I'm talking. So Israel doesn't respect the rules of the game.
Okay, let me go straight to the preemptive strike by Israel on Iran. Adams, quickly, briefly, because we are far-fetched with time. Your take on that?
It was a mistake done by Israel.
Okay, so if it was a mistake, then Israel needs to be forgiven then, isn't it?
Who should forgive them? They should be punished for that. Nobody has forgiven them. Iran has punished them. You see what is going on in Israel now.
No, you are saying it was a mistake.
Yeah, I'm saying that
they are saying it's a preemptive strike.
Yeah, they preempted it.
Yes.
They practiced it. They studied it, and they made the biggest mistake in their life.
Okay.
Which they shouldn't have done.
Okay, so
they underestimated Iran.
Okay, so Doc.
Hello.
Yeah, the preemptive strike.
The preemptive strike by Israel was very bad. It's a criminal act. It's also an act of terrorism. Nobody have the right or monopoly to kill anybody or kill any human beings as he wants. But it seems Israel has just been murderous, killing people anytime they just suspect. If Israel and US think they are justified to invade Iran and bomb Iran based on a suspicion that they are producing nuclear weapons and they will come and attack them with the nuclear weapon, then with that same yardstick criteria, then Russia is also justified by attacking Ukraine with the suspicion that if they join NATO, the US will use Ukraine as a stronghold to come and attack them. And with that same yardstick and that same criteria, then China is also justified to attack Taiwan and take it back. If that's what US and Israel think what they are doing, or they are justified, then Russia and China also justified also take military action against their neighbors. Besides, Israel and Iran doing share borders. You have to go through Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, Jordan. It's many countries between these countries. But Israel, the leader says the better is it.
Okay, so
and Christians, and what even and what even hurting me that the gullible Christians are defending them. The gullible Christians, Christianity make people so gullible and so it's going to be very stupid.
Doctor, because the Christians, the gullible, as you said, the Christians in Africa don't know the difference between Judaism and Christianity. The Jewish people hated Christians more than they hated Muslims. A Jew will go to the mosque and pray, and a Jew will never set foot in church. But those people in Ghana, they think when you mention Israel, you've mentioned the birthplace of Christianity. They don't know that they hated Christians more than any other religious organization.
All right, let me go on my next elaboration. Let's look at the Iran's response and Israel's call for US to intervene. US have Trump has actually intervened. And are we looking or are we facing a serious analyze, being, the humanity or the human race.
Now,
Race.
all military analysts in the world has made a statement and has criticized United States, because what United States did last night was also a big mistake on the part of the US, because
Then
by the time
this evening, you love the word mistake about.
yes, I'm saying that based on what I just don't want to use the actual word, so I'll hide behind the mistake.
Okay.
Yes, and they are going to pay for it, because Iran will not forgive them. Iran will attack all their interests in the Middle East, and they've said it. And now America is overstretched. America is broke. They went and bombed empty nuclear facility. There was nothing there. It has been evacuated, so nothing has happened. You see, and this call for intervention by Israel was as a result of Israel being defeated. So when they saw that the battle is not for them to fight, they wanted to robe the so-called free world in Britain, France, Germany, and America to fight. But this is not going to help them. The better they come and say we want to have peace and we will stop bombing, will be good for them.
Okay, are we going to be annihilated from the planet Earth?
Never.
Okay.
Never.
Eugene,
Osagyeo,
is the human race finally facing annihilation? Being annihilated?
no, I feel like everything will be under control. It wouldn't get to that stage.
Okay. Before I go to Doc, let me speak to Nanama. Nanama.
Nana,
What Israel ni Iran ntọkwa
Patron, I almost say hospitals name.
The what we all say
Ɛka me nkwa deɛ anka ɔmbɛtwa biribiara so. Sɛ nhyehyɛe bi na ɔmo de bɛba na obiara bɛte ne yɔnko ase a. Sɛdeɛ ɛbɛyɛ a asomdwie bɛba, because today I watched the news. I was so sad. I saw children who are hurt, dead. I was so sad.
On which side? Which side are you side on? Which of the parties?
I am not siding with anybody. I just want peace. I don't know how they can make peace. I just pray for peace for them.
And we are my miss of one. All right, Doc.
Okay.
Are we facing
Yeah.
serious and being annihilated?
No, I don't think so, because the conflict between Iran and both countries don't have enough stockpile of nuclear warhead that can actually annihilate the whole world. If the conflict was between Russia and US, any of these countries have enough nuclear weapons that can destroy the entire planet Earth. But Israel and Iran, the number of nuclear warheads they possess is not enough to actually annihilate the whole world.
Yeah, but is those that are coming in, the superpowers, they have those, so they can supply to them. What's your take?
There is no any other nation that has ever used nuclear weapon but United States of America. We know the policy of United States of America is their hegemony and white supremacists. And now people have understood them, the majority of the world. That's why we are pleased to have the multipolar world, bipolar world now. We've got a BRIC, which are the foreign minister, Iranian's foreign minister is in Russia today. So Russia, Brazil, Argentina, South Africa, India, let's call India out. we have China. So with these people, they've got very, very good technology now. I think the usage of the nuclear weapon, you are going to depend on your satellite to launch. And China will be in China and kill your satellite. So it's going to be very difficult for some of the so-called nuclear world to launch some of their nuclear weapon now. So we should forget about that. That is gone. Now we are going into electronic warfare.
Okay, so gentlemen and our beautiful lady Nana, Nana, are you there? I could still you are always muted. Why? Nanama. Okay, so it could be the network.
Nana.
Why you intentionally mute it? Because a man
I went to sip some small water.
What's wrong?
No, I went to sip some small water.
Okay. That's a very good excuse. Okay, so thank you, gentlemen, and thank you, lady, our beautiful lady, Beautylicious Nanama. Adams, that's our Beautylicious Beautylina Nanama there.
You are also doing the Ghanaian, you are also doing the same thing. Here we can call you are patronizing or you are trying to be sexual harassing Nanama. So be careful of what you say because I can take you on and
so now you are trying to
I get you.
She gave us the name. Ask Doc
okay.
and Eugene. Eugene, me boy.
Osagyeo for Bachoy Ampa.
Oh, so Nanama, then if you did that, your lawyer, I wouldn't have any pretext or I wouldn't have any grounds to
I'm coming after you to falsely accuse me.
I'm sorry. My client was on the wrong side of.
Apologies overruled.
We are sorry. Anyway,
so Nanama officially is Nanama Beautylina. That's the name. The stage name. That's a stage name. Yeah.
Okay, Beautylina.
Yes. Okay, so gentlemen, great sense of humor, nice show. Doc, JB,
hello.
We thank you so much. Your selfless time, working hard in the hospital and attending to us anytime we call on you.
And a very in-depth knowledge in the international relations as well. I like it.
She is very, very good indeed. And Eugene, our very young man and sacrificing is just immense. We thank you so much. And my colleague who is now in Leicester, United Kingdom,
with a white beard,
running the media house for a long time. Say I would do Ademu. Thank you so much. And Nanama, thank you once again. And we'll look forward to
You're welcome.
guys. All right. Bye-bye. Hey guys. So we're talking.
Bye.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Yes.
Bye.
We've got to keep we're gonna be doing more of the shows because of the pressing issues that is taking place across the global world. So we need to keep our listeners and viewers glued to our channel and make sure we bring the very best. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, and good evening to the panelists. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.